Well, it will have an influence. Because from year to year, as business increases or decreases in this establishment, that door's going to be open more or less. So you're going to see an increase or a decrease in temperature simply because of the number of average customers who come into here, come in this building. That has nothing to do with the average temperature in the building without those, without the increase or decrease in business. So what you're actually measuring is not really a natural increase or decrease in the environmental temperature here. You're measuring how many customers this establishment is getting.
Oh, then if we put it in the very back of the room, wouldn't that isolate it for those?
If it's next to the restroom, again, you're going to get all the customers opening and closing the restroom door.
What if we put...
Now remember that we're talking about here is minuscule changes in average global temperature.
Right.
From year to year, we're talking...
quarter of a percent.
2, 3, 4, 5%, 10% of a degree Fahrenheit change in temperature. Do you understand that? You know how much that is? If you so much as wave your hand at the thermometer, you're getting a bigger increase than that.
Right.
So, and people have to understand this, what we're talking about here.
Well, in the example of the room, if we increase the number of thermometers, let's say we put 10 thermometers, randomly placed out,
but we don't have 10.
Average.
We don't have 10 thermometers in the global room. You don't even have one. You understand?
Could they get around that problem by just massively increasing the number of reading stations?
It would help a little bit, but you still wouldn't. You still wouldn't. You'd have a million of these things, and you still haven't solved the problem because you're looking at such a subtle change in temperature from year to year. That's just not the right way to do it. Now, satellite imagery helps a little bit because you're taking an image of the globe, but even then, that's not enough. Because you're looking at different layers of the Earth, you're looking at the solar radiation, you're looking at all kinds of factors that.
Surely we have to do something. We have to come up with some methodology that will allow us to test these things, because otherwise we have no information. We're completely in the dark. Isn't it better to at least have some temperature reading stations if we're very conservative about how we interpret
right now there is no way to do this.
So you're saying that doing this is actually beyond the scope of human technology?
At this point.
At this point in time?
Yes. Unless you want to fool yourself. Because over the centuries, we've had decades in Earth's history where temperatures went. When there were dramatic heat waves across one region or another, and anyone could have easily have made the judgment that you're making right now that, oh my God, we're all going to die. And there were times, also centuries even, or decades even, where certain regions of the planet, or even maybe on a planetary scale, temperatures dipped, and we had what people thought were little ice ages. And people like you went crazy and said, oh my God, we're all going to freeze to death. And it's the end of the Earth.
And it turned out.
So you have cycles going back and forth, and you have regional cycles. And your temperature readings are going to be, they're not even regional. You're looking at, you might as well just...
well, you're saying we'll basically look at...
guesswork. It's as good as guesswork. Those temperature readings, because of their placement is not scientific, and their number is not nearly enough, it's nice. You might as well be guessing. It's kind of like, let me see if I can exemplify what the problem. It's as if you you took a glimpse. You stood over a bridge on the highway, and once a day you took a peek for a couple of seconds, and you counted the number of trucks going under the bridge.
All right.
Okay, and from that glimpse. From that 5-second glimpse, you try to estimate the number of trucks that go over that highway for the whole day or the whole year.
It would obviously be...
Okay, let's say you take a snapshot. You have a still camera, you take a snapshot from the bridge, and then you do a count of the cars, and you go, well, for the year there's going to be this many Lexuses, this many trucks, this many Toyotas, and this many white cars, this many red cars. Or to make it simpler, there's going to be this much traffic. This many cars are going to go over this highway a year. and you do it again next year, you take another still, and then you can make a judgment about traffic density on that road.
All right.
Is that going to mean anything?
It's going to be a snapshot. It's going to be.
Please don't be silly. Your freaking snapshot a year means nothing. What the hell does it mean?
Well,
you think you're going to stand over a bridge, look at the highway, and take a snapshot once a year, and you're going to make a judgment about the whole year?
That would be a huge stretch, but
it could have been a holiday. It could have been at the time of the day that you took it off. It could have been a traffic jam. It could have been a detour. It could have been road work.
Seriously, it's not better.
The weather could have been bad. The weather could have been bad that day. People stayed home. It'd been a football game, and truckers decided that they're going to.
So the argument that some data is better than nothing. You're saying that actually.
I'm saying the data you're looking at is completely useless. It doesn't amount to zilch.
So it shouldn't.
It doesn't even come up to the level to be useful.
So you're saying that sort of data shouldn't even be collected.
Yes, because it's not enough. It's actually more likely to mislead you, which is what's happening with all these boy cried wolf imbeciles, and they're being played by a bunch of conniving priests of a new religion who should know better, who know that these claims cannot be made on the global scale.
So I see. I think
it's a very subtle point, and
you
really have to have a statistical mind to understand what it is I'm trying to say here.
You're saying that due to the methodology of how the data is being collected, the type of data being collected, the capacity that we have to even try to collect this data, that even collecting this data in this way is useless.
Yeah.
And that any of the data is collected is actually misleading as far as what's actually happening in reality, and that the hoax, that basically what we're looking at is a hoax, not necessarily in its.
Not in the sense that they're lying one way or the other.
Yeah.
But the hoax, the real lie, is to make a claim that you can't make.
Okay, so they're making a claim that they can't even make.
They can't even begin to make that claim. They don't have a scientific right to make that claim.
So they could be right that we could be
this
seeing
is a topic.
Average.
You see whatever the hell you want to see. You want to see global warming, you can go collect the data and get exactly what you're looking for. You want to see global dimming or global chilling, you'll get that data. You look at the separate regions of the world, you find chilling and freezing and people dying, like in Peru right now. People are dying of freezing cold.
Oh, Mongolia had one of the worst records.
Yes, exactly.
In fact, it's actually all but decimated their economic life. The Mongolians lost millions of horses and cattle. And
to what? To freeze out.
I think the actual word in the Mongolian language is translated as something as the White Death.
Yeah.
And it's one of the worst winters that they've ever had.
They got oversnowed.
Oversnowed and 50-degree below
zero temperature.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Lots of snow.
So what does that mean? Should we all
way too much snow.
All start jumping crazy and go, oh my God, we're all going to freeze to death? We're going to freeze to death now?
Yeah,
and that's what these guys are doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They're looking at the data that you're not allowed to look at in the first place. So this is even worse than that. Right. It turns out that the raw data available is actually proving these priests to be liars. So they're not even getting the data they want.
So that's basically
after 1999 and 2000.
So that's basically a hoax inside of a hoax.
So do you understand the subtle point?
Right. It's
okay.
I think there are still people out there that the point might sort of go over their head a little bit, but
so
I think you're making the point.
Let the recap. Is temperature increasing? I don't know. Nobody really knows. Is it decreasing? I don't know. Nobody really knows. I can give you my hunch, I can give you my guess, I can give you what I'd like to see or what I think I see. But it's meaningless. You understand? You'll see whatever you want to see. Whatever you're predisposed to see. If you were raised to see global warming, that's what you're going to be blabbering about to everyone you meet. If you were raised to see, or you were told to see by your church or your daddy or your goddamn television, you're going to see that. Okay? This is one of those Rorschach diagrams. Some people see a butterfly, some people see the butt end of a horse.
And that's where the hoax lies. That basically...
Exactly. Global warming is like a Rorschach diagram. You'll see whatever the hell you're predisposed to see. You want to see catastrophe? It's right there in front of you.